And I was talking about using scissors, so I thought maybe I'd put a little video on here to show you how to use your scissors. That's something as we get a little older we'll all have to use. So it's always important that you're using scissors, that you have a grown-up with you, and more importantly, you're sitting down. You should never be walking with scissors. So you can see my scissors are lying here on my paper. So when I pick them up, I'm going to put my thumb in the top hole, and then I'm going to put my finger in the bottom hole. See how I have that? There's my thumb and my finger. So I'm going to take a look down, make sure my thumb is always on the top. So now I'm going to separate my fingers. Separate and close. Okay, open them up again. Separate and close. And if you see what this is doing, this is making your cutting motion. So take them apart, put them together. I want you to practice that for a few seconds. And that's how we're going to cut. So this is the part where your grown-up comes in. Your grown-up can take a blank piece of paper and a pen, a crayon, a marker, whatever you have on hand. And all they're going to do is draw a line the whole width of the page from beginning to end. And you know what we're going to do with this? We're going to cut this off. So I'm going to pick this up. I'm going to take my scissors, make sure my thumb is on the top. My finger, I'm going to open it and close, open and close. Now I'm going to put it to the paper and I'm going to cut. Put it right on the line and go really, really slow. The trick to cutting well is going slow. There we go. Look at that. It's cutting. My thumb is on the top. And I'm cutting the paper. And I'm just going slow. And the more you practice, the easier this is going to be. So I would love to see a picture of you guys practicing this. This is really important. So there you look at that. We cut that whole piece right off. That's pretty cool. And you did that with your scissors. Okay, so now, once you're really, really comfortable with doing the line, your grown-up can make you a big zigzag. And a big zigzag is good because it helps us to get around the corners a little better. So zig, zag, zig, zag, and a zig. So this one looks a little trickier, but this is really cool once you have it all cut. So you're going to start the same thing again. Pick up your scissors, put your thumb on the top, your finger on the bottom. Okay, and you're going to turn your paper. Sometimes this helps. So I'm going to cut a little bit right in. Oh, and I'm going to come to a corner. So the easiest thing to do here is to keep your hand steady and turn your whole page. And cut, cut, cut. When you come to the corner, turn your page. You can get a grown-up to help you turn your page because sometimes it's kind of hard. And sometimes if this paper is bothering you, when you come to the corner, you can just cut it off, turn back, cut. And we're going to finish up our big zigzag. Look at that. This is what we've cut. So that's kind of cool. And then grown-ups, as they get a little more comfortable with that, you can make them a swirly line. And all of this is a great practice in cutting. But don't expect it to happen too fast. It takes quite a little time. And as they get a little more advanced, you can even make a smaller swirly line. This one might be almost school age before they're able to do this one. But it just gives you an idea of what to do when you're helping them to cut. Another thing that's really, really, really fun to cut is if you have some yarn at home. Yarn or string. So you can cut yarn or string. But you know what you cannot cut? You can't cut your own hair. You should never cut your fingers. You should never cut your clothing. And never, ever, ever, ever cut the laces off your shoes. So you just use scissors when you have a grown-up with you, and they'll help you decide what you can cut. So look at that, and then you can take these pieces and maybe glue them onto some paper and make a craft that you could show me. That's kind of cool. Also, ribbon is really fun to cut. So if you have some of this ribbon that I just get at the dollar store, it's fun to cut. It takes a short time that they don't get bored with it, so it's just there, then they have a piece. Sometimes if you start it with the paper, maybe they will get a little bit bored, maybe a little bit overwhelmed. So you just cut some ribbon. And something else that I found the kids really like to cut are plastic things like straws and things like that, because when you cut them, they couldn't fly away. So you should be in an area where you're not going to get these all over your house. If you cut them down low, that works a little better. And when you're finished with these, you could actually take a string and join these together and make a bracelet. So you could put a loop of string into there. I don't know if my string will go because it's quite a big yarn. Oh, it's going to go. Look at that. There's one. These like to fly away on me. If you see what I'm doing, and this is really great for fine motor skills. Loop that through, and you can do as many as you like. And I can make a little bracelet with it. And another thing that kids enjoy cutting is colored paper. A lot of times if they're cutting white paper and they're not as interested, get some colored paper. It'll work a little bit better. They'll like to do that. So I just thought I'd give you a little bit of information on some scissors, some tips to help them learn to cut, because as they start getting closer to school age, they will need to know how to hold scissors. So just always remind them to put their thumb on the top, their fingers in the bottom, and to open and close. Open and close. You can tell them to watch their thumb as they're doing this, and they'll realize it's opening, because sometimes when you say open and close, they think about the middle part. So just get them to open their fingers and close their fingers. Open and close. So I just thought I'd send that with you today. I will see you all later, and happy cutting!